Yes, like I said, I'm being joined via Zoom by the president of the Association of Bureaux De Change Operators of Nigeria, Alhaji Aminu Gwadabe. Thank you so much. It's good to have you on the show. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tolu. Good afternoon, Nigerians, and thank you for having me here.
Yes, let's start this way. What happened? All of a sudden, there was a plan to redesign the Naira, and the dollar went so much on the high side. And just a week after, we see the Naira gaining so much against the greenback. You all know more than I do. So please tell us what actually played out.
In fact, thank you for this hard-cracking question. For us to have seen the Naira gaining strength of about 150 to almost 200 Naira in the market just within a week is phenomenal. Yes, as a way of laying foundation, the introduction of the redesign of the local currency have put a lot of pressure on the exchange rate. This is a target. One of the target of that policy is to ensure that monies that are being kept in the house vaults, in the vault of houses, were out, so as to be deposited in the commercial banks. However, because of suspicion or because of the genuineness of such monies that were kept in the house, they found it a bit difficult to take it to the bank. So instead, we observe what is called currency substitution. A lot of that money being diverted to the foreign exchange market to be substituted for, dollars. And you know, dollar is the preferred currencies for holding. Is the preferred currency for holding in Nigeria. Even before the policy, it has been estimated that over $10 billion has been hoarded in various people's homes and offices. So that added fire, added fuel. However, we also look at some happenings globally. There is attack on the global reserve currency. Dollar is the global reserve currency, and many clients have started diverting from its usage, and this has caused a loss of confidence even globally. For instance, Russia have decided to even stop using the USD dollar for their own receipt of oil. Vatican have recalled all their euro dollar investment from other clients back to Italy in Vatican. Saudi Arabia is following Saudi Arabia measures that will make them reduce. The same thing with Iran, the same thing with global on the hegemony of the reserve currency worldwide. Also, if you come locally, you look at the cash tightening. One of the major reasons for introducing the redesign is to ensure that the cash in circulation outside, because the more cash between monetary policies and exchange rate volatility. The policy of Naira redesign, like we noticed in the first instance, have created pressure, but after compliance, because people have started complying, from the statistics so far as at last week, we learned from the central bank over 60 billion Naira have been deposited with money deposit banks. This is a big chunk that ab initio will have been a catalyst for putting pressure on the exchange rate of the economy. Then there is also security surveillance. There is a lot of security surveillance, both using intelligence and also coming out by the security agencies in terms of sensitization, in terms of arrest. However, their intelligence surveillance is working perfectly, as a lot of people are wary of going to buy or to sell dollars. Then lastly, there is also diversion from the dollar market to commodity market. A lot of people having seen the security agencies all ears on what happened in the 4 years. So all these factors have contributed in lowering the frivolous demand that ab initio is putting pressure on the Naira. However, this afternoon we have started seeing a return march from those activities of demand. 740, 750, 760, according to different locations in the country.
Now, we're not getting the best of this because I think network along the line, but we are still getting you talk. We can't even see your picture at the moment, but we'll keep trying. We can still hear you. But I'd like to ask, yes, okay, yeah, we can see you clearly now. Now, I'd like to ask, sometime when this new move by the Apex Bank was introduced, we heard, and we saw actually as journalists that there were some raidings also in Abuja of some BDCs and all of that. Now, what is this for?
Hello, the network is a bit...
Yes, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I'm saying that we heard of raids by men of the EFCC and I think of the police in some cases, raiding some BDCs in Abuja and some places. Why did that have to happen?
First, it's an expectation, like we have all analyzed it from the beginning, that one of the implications of the redesign is that people will rush to the foreign exchange market and mob the currencies that is available in the market. So having that expectation, the EFCC have to be proactive in ensuring first, before the raid, they invited all the leadership in the different zones to at least discuss with them and also to sensitize them. What the EFCC is even saying is that, look, we are not saying you should not do their business, but you have obligations as a licensed Bureau De Change. Your obligation is that you should know your customer and report any by mobilizing the BDCs, informing them they should be on top of their obligations by rendering their returns, by ensuring they know their customers. Then, having done that, other report, I cannot hold brief for the EFCC while they are coming out to do surveillance, at least to discourage the street hawking. They believe street hawking is one of the also outlook that they want to ensure that it has been reduced to the barest minimum. I remember last year when the country is going through the Financial Action Task Force evaluation, the same activity of the stock hackers was the one that caused the country for not even crossing the implications, or the gray list of the Financial Action Task Force. And I'm aware that the Financial Action Task Force, they are resuming their evaluation. And this has a very, very critical implication for the country. Last time when they came, they went through the street hawkers and conduct their transactions. And that was how Nigeria found itself of not crossing the gray list. So we stand a very, very big risk this time around if such activity, ensure that seminar should not happen again.
Now, let me ask you, for some time now, if you can hear me clearly, the CBN has refused to allocate Forex to BDC operators. Now, how has that been? And are you in discussions to address this trend? Because some still believe that making the BDCs active might help address this. we got to a point where the disparity was almost more than 100%.
You see, BDC are also transmission mechanism of the monetary policies directive. So, and the BDC remained the most potent monetary instrument of exchange rate stability of the Central Bank of Nigeria. We have seen it over time. For instance, the question we all asked, January, as at the time in 2021, when the suspension of BDC came into place, the was about 500 Naira a dollar then. But after a year, the thing went to about almost 740. So the question we're asking, when the BDC are not there, the rate was about only 50 Naira, 100 Naira differential between the I&E window and the parallel market. But when they were removed, the rate, the differential, the gap widened to almost double, like we have said. So this shows that the BDC are playing a potent role in exchange rate stability in closing the gap. The withdrawal of that allocation have really also the withdrawal of the BDC allocation by the Central Bank of Nigeria have also its unintended consequences. And the unintended consequences is what we have been witnessing in terms of a widening gap. Because the objective of having the BDCs is to reduce the gap, is to increase liquidity and make availability, convenience, and easy. That was one of the reasons that the window of the central bank has been open. Well, as an association and proactive association, we are not blaming the central bank for taking their decision. We are their operators. We have to comply with whatever decision they come with. However, we have some certain suggestions and advice. First is to ensure that you reform the BDCs instead of throwing the baby and the bathwater, because this is what we are seeing. You throw the baby and the bathwater, and yet there is problem in the economy. So we are their partners. We want to continue to collaborate. We are major stakeholders. We want to continue to collaborate with them to ensure that the critical return end market, there is enough liquidity. The pressure is the spurious demand. The volatility is in the critical return end of the market. Once you can meet up with liquidity in the critical return end of the market, people are traveling, they can get their PTA. People that want to pay for school fees, they can get it. People that want to pay for medical, they can get it. It's going to go a long way in dousing the tension at that market. Two is to ensure that they liberalize export proceeds. By liberalizing export proceeds, this money can come into the BDC market, and then there will be enough liquidity. And thirdly, I also want to advise, there are two types of domiciliary account. There is the export proceeds domiciliary account. I want to advise the CBN that any amount in non-export domiciliary account should be converted to Naira and using the BDC to trade on it. We have companies, one company with over $2 billion, $3 billion in non-export domiciliary account, and this company will still go to CBN and buy dollars. So we should either encourage them or force them to bring out this dollar. Imagine what happened last year. Not even from any CBN's intervention, last 2 weeks. What we have seen in liquidity is not even from the CBN window, but from individuals Nigerians. So which means we have individual Nigerians that can bring out this dollar and ensure that our local currency is strength, is stable. So these are ideas that we think we should look into so that we can have a robust liquidity in the system and also enhance the value of our local currency.
Brilliant. Laji. Now let's wrap up in a two-in-one question, or if possible, one or two more questions. Sustaining this is very important because it's the talk of the town. Everybody's happy that the Naira is appreciating. Now, these processes I highlighted, are they what we should follow to sustain this rate? How can we maintain this? Airlines want Forex. Manufacturers want Forex. business owners want Forex. How do we sustain this?
See, let's remove restriction. Let's remove be competitive. Restrictions in terms of which money does the BDC will have to buy. We are talking of over $25 billion annually as diaspora remittance. It's not even coming into the country because of restrictions of fiat and flexible exchange rate. And we're also dampening, inflation, because we are using the IIE window as the rate for import, while the parallel market is being at 740, 750. So we're only helping to dampen inflation. Let's remove these restrictions. Let the money flow so that we can have a market clearance price. That will bring liquidity. And as soon as it's a question of supply, it's not a silver bullet. It's a question of supply. Once supply has started coming into the market through these sources, export proceeds and also diaspora remittances, that will sustain the Naira strength. Then, like I've added, the operations of non-export domiciliary account should also be reviewed. Anyone want to even be depositing dollars now, he should be asked, where is the receipt for the purchase of his dollar? Let him provide sources before a bank will allow you to deposit cash. These are ways we can continue to ensure that we maintain adequate liquidity in the industry. And then we should also support. We should come out with what we call joint venture capital, because the conventional banks does not even understand the needs, the workings of the.
Alhaji Aminu Gwadabe, if you can hear me.
Understanding the critical. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Just one more. I got your point, but just 1 minute. As we move to the end of the year, what are your thoughts around the market?
Honestly, I want to advise CBN to seize the opportunity of this appreciation of the local currency and boost supply. Because, like I said, if not, we will be made to swallow our joy, because no doubt about it, Nigeria is an import-dependent country. A lot of demand will start coming up again for people that want to do shopping and restock their shops for exports.
Amos, thank you so much. Interesting conversation. Well, despite the network, we were still able to get the best out of this interview. Alhaji Aminu Gwadabe, Amos, thank you so much. He is the president of the Association of Bureaux De Change Operators of Nigeria, APCON. Do enjoy the rest of your day.